Well, hello there, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. Now, officially at The Walking Dead final season wrapped up in March, I'm finally going to be doing my list of best Walking Dead seasons. I'm going to start with the worst, all the way to the best. This is out of all 4 seasons. This is an update to my original list I made in 2017 discussing Walking Dead Season 1, Season 2, Season 3, which is the best. And at the time, I had said Season 1 was the best, Season 2 was the second best, and Season 3 was the worst. So now that the final season comes into play, now I make the call of what changes in the list, what the final season impacts with this. So if you guys enjoyed this video, make sure y'all do me a favor, smack a like, hit that subscribe button if you're new. Let's go for 800 likes on this video, I greatly would appreciate that. And leave me your list down below in the comments of your best seasons. Go from best to worst. I'm going to go from worst to best here. So, hope you guys enjoy, and let's get straight into it. So, my worst season, I don't think it's a surprise to any of you guys, The Walking Dead: A New Frontier, or The Walking Dead Season 3. So, firstly, let's talk about why The Walking Dead: A New Frontier / Season 3 is the worst season out of the 4. Firstly, we gotta talk about the short episodes. The length was very short at best. The longest episode I remember was probably at least an hour 30-ish. Not even probably making it there. The final episode, surprisingly, was not even an hour 15. I got that done in an hour 10. And again, you know how I am with collectibles and stuff and searching around for everything, you know, talking to everybody. That's just with me going like, you know, like that. Like, if you speedrun it legit, you can get it done in an hour 5. But the length in each episode was legitimately poor. There's also the release of episodes 1 and 2 together, which I thought was a poor decision on their part. We had both episodes releasing, and probably both of those episodes combined in length equaled the length of a final season episode, one of the final season's episodes. So that's pretty sad, in my opinion, that even had to be a thing. I mean, you also had, you know, some choices really matter. You had Conrad's importance being alive, but really, did you have any major important choices other than the finale's episode? Pretty much it. I mean, the beginning choices really didn't matter. And, you know, we can pretty much say this about any Telltale game. Choices really didn't matter that much, but this was a prime example of a game where choices really didn't matter, except other than the Conrad and some of the choices at the ending. You also had some of the characters. I liked Javier, one of the only bright spots in the season. I give him a positive, you know, outlook on this season, and I'd love if Telltale would, you know, if, you know, Skybound Games decides to bring Telltale, you know, The Walking Dead back, that they bring Javier back for another season, or they have him incorporated in some way, even if he isn't the playable character. I would love to see that. But you've also got the oversaturation of the colors, which I think is a big factor. I didn't like the graphic style that much, and the lack of time you get to talk with people. I just felt the season, maybe it wasn't rushed, but it could have been so much better. There was a lot of cut content. We're talking about the slaughterhouse, a lot of misleading trailers depicting Javier with the New Frontier sign. So the story was changed so much. I mean, this season could have been a completely different thing if they had kept the old story. But let me know your guys' thoughts down below of The Walking Dead: A New Frontier. Still, if I had to give it a rating 1 to 10, I'm going to give it a 5 as okay at best. Most of you guys will probably give it like a 1. But compared to other seasons, man, this was nowhere near as good. So let's move on to my number 3 spot, meaning my third best. Now, this one's a tough call for me. I had to go with Season 2. I know, I mean, you could put a lot in this spot. This is really a mixed spot, but Season 2 to me is my number 3 choice. Now, why am I taking the final season and Season 1 over Season 2? Season 2 to me was great. I would give it personally a 7 or 8 out of 10. The emotions with it, it was one of the most connected games I had felt. Choices really didn't matter in it until the final episode. For example, I like to say episode 4 was that one episode where really Season 2 showed its main colors. You had stealing the drugs from Arvo. Really didn't matter as a major choice. You had the file with Jane. You had, I mean, going at night with Rebecca, or, you know, waiting a couple days and letting her rest. There was that church. I mean, there was a lot of bad things with episode 4 that kind of made me just feel disconnected with it. Then you had episode 1. I thought a great introductory episode, but it ended off slowly. You had the Pete and Nick choice, which I thought was a really great one. But still, when we talk about what makes a Walking Dead season great, it's emotions, it's choices actually mattering somewhat, it's character connection, and this season was great with that. Kenny's return, I thought, was a major importance to how good this season was to me. But time length, again, was better than A New Frontier, but only usually making about an hour 45 in length. Wasn't that bad, but still, you had 5 episodes, you had a great story, you had betrayals, you had emotions, you had Lee in a flashback. I thought this season was very good. I mean, it's a throw-up between this season, the final season, and season 1. I've seen some people put season 2 as the best season. I think people are entitled to that opinion. But to me, season 2 is my 3rd best season, second worst. So let's go on to my 2nd best season. So at number 2, I picked The Walking Dead, the final season. After A New Frontier ended, we were very nervous to see how this was going to be. Did we think it was going to be another Walking Dead, A New Frontier, where it was very poor in quality, episodes seemed rushed, choices really didn't matter? The final season incorporated a lot of new aspects. The graphic black art style, we had collectibles, we had relationship things we could view at the end of the episodes. I mean, it was really nice to see all these new features incorporated. We also had some monumentally important choices. I think we can put some big ones in. Picking Lewis or Violet at the end of episode 2. That was a major important choice. We could say trusting AJ or not. Another important choice. Basically where characters' lives would be depending on it. And I think, a final season did a good enough job of making choices matter somewhat to where you could see some differences if, this character lives or this character lives. You had different dialogue. And the episode length was phenomenal. Almost up to season 1 level. About 2 hours 20, 2 hours 10, 2 hours 30 sometimes. It was really nice. The only short episode really was the final episode. I think the final episode, in my opinion, was probably one of the worst of the season. I loved it for the emotions and that it was the emotional high, but I thought the episode could have been another 20 or 30 minutes because there was a lot of, loose ends that I think they didn't tie up. Maybe because they're leaving it open for a season 5, but we don't know about that yet. Personally, I think Clementine's story is over, but there's a lot of other things they could tell in the Walking Dead story. But you're starting to notice, I thought dialogue was really cool in this. The new graphic style really stood out to me, and it made A New Frontier look like, we know what A New Frontier looks like. And I'm glad they're bringing this graphic black style in the definitive edition. And I love the new characters. Instead of bringing back old characters, mainly we had a new cast. The boarding school, I thought they're, some of the best characters in the series. Some of them there included. We had a lot of emotional twists. Lee's flashback, Lily's return, Marlon getting shot by AJ. Just the emotional highs of this. I'd give this season an 8.5/9 out of 10. But we all know season 1's better. And I'm going to explain that. Let's go into it. So my favorite/best season is The Walking Dead Season 1. I don't think any of you guys are surprised. I give the season a 10 out of 10. It's won 80-ish Game of the Year awards. Critically acclaimed as one of the best storytelling/choice-based games of all time. I mean, you can't really say choices matter to the infinity beyond games like Detroit Become Human, Heavy Rain, and all that. But the emotions. This really is the game that put Telltale on the map and made these heavy branch story-based games really popular. And we look back at really the main protagonist, Lee, and the relationship with Clementine really as one of the main factors that put this game over the top. And especially the emotional ending that we had with Lee's demise. I mean, really at the time, I had never really heard of this game. I had someone tell me about it a year or two after I actually saw this game on sale on the 360. Ended up playing it and I was like, holy crap. How did I not hear of this game before? And that's really when I started to get into the fandom of The Walking Dead, even before I started my YouTube channel. Really was a cool personal experience for me that I got to experience, watching videos and, learning more about characters and what's going to happen next season, how it's going to work. And eventually, I'm so happy that I got to involve myself on YouTube and really get to take the, front look perspective of The Walking Dead when Telltale, was making these games. And I was very excited, But I love the cast. This cast, no doubt, cannot be beaten. Omid, Krista, Doug, Carly, Lily, Larry. We had Kenny, Katja, Duck, Ben. So many other characters that we can throw up. I mean, the cast was top-notch in my opinion. And we had great additions later in the season like Molly. Krista and Omid, they came in later. I mean, Chuck. Some of the best characters in the series, in my opinion, came from this season. And we had a lot of great choices. Emotional choices. I don't know if we could say they mattered the most, but shooting Lee or leaving him to turn made me cry. I mean, this season probably made me cry just more than any other season. I mean, the final season probably was my second most, but this season really made me tear up, and I think anyone that plays this for the first time, there is no better experience, in my opinion, guys, than going in, playing this for the first time, and experiencing this emotional relationship and journey that this season took us on. And knowing, how the final season ended, just seeing how Lee went through all this, it's emotional, man. And it's no doubt when I, am growing up and I have like a game I want to tell my children about, this will probably be one of the games that, without a doubt, I tell them about and have them play, because it's no doubt an experience I think everyone needs to. If you've never played this game before, you need to experience it one time for the first time, because there's no better time, as in my opinion, playing a game than that first time. So, Season 1 is my favorite. Let me know your guys' list down below in the comments. I don't want to drag this on too long, because my original list I did was like 29 minutes. We're not going to go into every single individual detail. But let me know what you guys think of my list down below. I should have another Walking Dead video very soon. I know I'm sorry about the lack of uploads, guys, but I just turned 21. So if you guys want to wish me a happy birthday down below in the comments, I would greatly appreciate that. And I'll have it probably in my pinned post. But next video will be the top 10 WTF moments in The Walking Dead. So, guys, we're almost about a month away from the definitive edition, so please make sure you stay tuned on the channel for more information and stuff in regards to that if we get anything. And again, we will be playing that when it releases in September. So, thank you all so much for watching, and we'll catch you all in the next video. Let's try to hit our like goal, and peace.
Bad this time of year. If I could, I would drive out to see you. Things are finally looking up for me this time.